I was young, black, and female. The young part, I don't have to worry about anymore, but I'm still black and I'm still a woman. And sometimes that's a threat to people. Get over it. I grew up in a public housing project. So we grew up poor. My parents got a divorce. It was an ugly, violent divorce. We had to flee our house, for safety purposes the whole summer. And my mother's prayer was that we would make it back home before school started, because everything was about school. That was our safe zone. Education was my ticket out. I ended up with 5 full scholarships to the college of my choice, and I chose the University of California at Berkeley. I was the first African-American cheerleader at Berkeley. I had 13 job offers coming out of college. And so I told the recruiter, I said, I am taking whoever offers me the most money and the opportunity to be, a leader coming in. I want to be the boss. So I ended up accepting the job with AT&T Pacific Bell, and I supervised operators. I'm 21 years old. And I remember being in the meeting with my boss's boss, and she says, I need you to take those braids out and don't ever wear those shoes again. I didn't look the part. It was a little bit too ethnic. So I told my mom what she said, and we stayed up all night taking out my braids so that I could go back to work appropriately. You need to be a little bit more dignified. Let me tell you what I want you to change. I think you would look good with short hair. You can't be Cynt, you have to be Cynthia. I've been called Cynt my whole life. And finally I said, if I have to fundamentally change who I am, I'm not going to take it. A couple of minutes later, I get a phone call, and it's the chairman of the company. And he said, Cynt, you don't have to change a thing. I said, now we're talking. Thank you, I accept. This article had come out, described a culture of sexual harassment, misconduct, and inappropriate behavior at the Mavs, and he asked me if I could be the CEO. Honestly, I thought, I'm not doing this. What woman in her right mind wants to work here if all this is true? I'm not the one. And as I was leaving his office, 2 women stopped me, and they said, are you the person that Mark Cuban said is going to come and save us? I did it for the sisterhood. I just really felt like the Lord called me to serve these people. And so I put together a 100-day plan. And once I put it all together, I just started crying. And I said, these people see a future here. This is about their lives. My job is to make sure they get to have their career at the NBA, their career at the Mavs. I've been the first so many times, and what I say is I'm the first, but I won't be the last. There's a purpose to every single job I've ever had, every seat I've ever sat in, every place I've ever shown up. Because some little girl sitting in a public housing project somewhere has a magazine cover, and I'm on it. And she is thinking, I can do it too.
Please welcome Cynt Marshall.
Don't worry, baby. Okay, look at somebody and tell them ain't no mountain high enough. Come on now. Ooh, a little acapella. Yes. Ain't no river. To do what? To keep me from getting. Woo, I love this place. I love y'all. Woo! I love. Oh my gosh. Good morning, my sisters. And I think I have some brothers in here too. I am so excited to be back at Makers. Oh my God. Are you glad to be here? I think so. Okay, so the last time I was here, maybe it was the last time you were here, 32 months ago. Okay, so I need you to look at somebody. Y'all know I grew up in a Pentecostal church. Okay, don't worry, we're going to get out before midnight. Okay, so we had some neighbors, so just look at somebody. Just look at somebody, and I want you to ask them a question. Say, sister. Now, y'all got to say it loud. Sister, where were you on February 11th, 2020? Okay, where were you? Think about it. 2/11/2020. I was at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles at Makers, and we were talking about not done yet. Do y'all remember that? Okay, and I was passing out some tiaras. Do y'all remember that? Okay. I left you with the message of cry like a baby. Y'all remember that? Fight like a girl and change the world like a woman. Now, little did we know that just a month later, we would be doing all of that at the same time. Crying, fighting, and changing simultaneously, okay, because of COVID-19. I call, the COVID-19 pandemic an out-of-body experience. Would you agree? When you think back about it, it's like truly it didn't happen. So I need you to look at another sister, because this is our 5 minutes of church time for you. For those of you who didn't get your meditation in this morning, this is your 5 minutes of meditation, okay? So I need you to just smile at the sister. Just smile at her and ask her, say, have you ever had an out-of-body experience? Okay, look at another sister, because y'all are loving this. Smile at the sister and say, have you ever had an out-of-body experience? Okay, so we know. Okay, y'all good at this. Okay, so we know that COVID-19 was an out-of-body experience. But my answer to that is yes, because I had one before, and it started on my 51st birthday, the day after my first colonoscopy. I got a colonoscopy my last day of 50, a colonoscopy that I had put off for over a year. So my first out-of-body experience was on December 15, 2010. And that's what it looked like. It looked like headlines about all of a sudden I had stage 3 colon cancer. On my 51st birthday, I got a call from my gastroenterologist telling me to get to a surgeon. He said, you need to get to a surgeon right away. Now, I go to work on my birthday because I have to be there for the surprise party, right? And so I'm there trying to find out stuff about the surprise party, and I get a call about a tumor. And so my out-of-body experience started with that first phone call that ended up with all kind of stuff happening. And then I had to really think about my future, because the second phone call I got was a few weeks later after I saw that surgeon telling me that, and to quote him, he says, I have news, it's bad and it's significant. You have stage 3 colon cancer, 1 lymph node from stage 4. That truly was an out-of-body experience. I felt like he was talking to somebody else. So very quickly, I had to think about my future. And that's what we're talking about in this conference, making the future. So, future, time regarded as still to come. So here's what my future ended up looking like. All of these things were in my future, okay? I ended up putting on my chemo pearls, and that's why y'all like my pearls? That's why I still wear my pearls to this day, because I was chosen for the chemo class of 2011. I had more scans than you could shake a stick at. I told my husband I knew I was glowing in the dark at some point, okay? I had all kind of scans, everything. But my future was chemotherapy, and I chose to live. I had a decision to make. Hold on, let's go back. Those questions. Do I relish in the out-of-body experience? Do I have a pity party? Because that's what I was trying to have when I called my mom to tell her what happened, and she didn't want to hear it. She said God was going to take care of me, or do I make my future? That's the point where we are right now. This is about making the future. So I made the future. That's a picture of me throwing my chemo port overboard after I kicked cancer's butt, okay? 2 years later, I was on the cover of a magazine, okay? I wish I could get back in that red suit, okay? But I just can't, and I'm okay with the hips. I'm not even trying to do that, okay? But 2 years later, I had an attitude of gratitude. I had to live for these honeys. These are my babies who taught me how to make the future. They were all in foster care, sad, abandoned, neglect stories. They taught me how to make the future. They gave me a reason to live. So I came out of my out-of-body experience. I embraced what I needed to do. And look, there's my oncologist there, Charlie Eisenbeis. We had something to do. We had to stop looking to the future and start making the future. Look at somebody, smile at them again. That's what we're going to be talking about all day. Say, stop looking to the future. Now, y'all got to say it louder than that. Stop looking to the future. Start making the future. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about right now. Get out your phones, whatever you write with. I want you to think about one thing, just one thing that you will do to define your future. One thing. From the time I threw that chemo port, I named my chemo pump Winston because, the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back, and Winston was the little cutie pie, Tay Diggs, right? So I named my chemo pump Winston because that thing had to give me my groove back, okay? But I named my port Willis, that was his little brother, and I threw that thing overboard on a ship with people who didn't even know me, singing I Will Survive. And I feel like that's where we are right now, coming through this pandemic, okay? Some things were taken away from us, but you know what? We're going to survive. We have survived, and we have some things to do now. We have to make our future. We have to decide what our workplaces look like. We have to decide what our homes look like, what this society looks like, a society that's trying to take away things from women. We get to make the future. So I wrote a book. Did y'all know I wrote a book? I wrote a book during the pandemic, okay? And released it a few weeks ago. I'm on a mission, and it's called You've Been Chosen. And it talks about my cancer journey, but it also talks about how all of these things, like the pandemic, that show up in our lives, we are ready for them. We are equipped for them, and we are equipped because God and great people, like the great people in this room, like the great people in this room, we have to show up for each other. So here's what I want you to do. I need you to stand up, because y'all know you have to stand up when you're talking to me, okay? Y'all know you have to stand up. Okay, I need some background music. And I need you to tell 5 people, you've been chosen, let's make the future. 5 people, you've been chosen, let's make the future. You've been chosen, ladies. Let's make the future. Okay, are y'all ready? Let's make the future. Okay, let's make it. Okay, so talking about being chosen and making the future, I want to introduce a maker and change maker. She's absolutely incredible. I love this woman so much. I'm truly going to be her when I grow up. Take a look at Maybelle Blair.
95, and as long as I'm on this side of the grass, I want to keep trying to spread the word to let us play our baseball. All I ever knew was baseball. My mother loved to play. My father loved to play. Baseball was our life. I grew up in California. All we had was cornfields, bean fields. In fact, I can remember when we made our own baseball field because there wasn't any baseball fields for it to play in. So my brother would get in the old Model T Ford, put a box spring mattress on it, and I would sit on the back of it. I was the anchor, so we could drag the field. There was nothing like it. So the Bob Fellers, the Joe DiMaggios, the Hank Greenbergs, they all had to go and join the service. I was out playing softball in a league, and the scout came out and says, "Hey, Maybelle, how would you like to play professional baseball?" Are you out of your mind? There's no professional baseball for women. Yes, there is. I introduced the scout to my mother. He says, "Well, Mrs. Blair, don't you understand? We're going to pay her $55 a week." My mother looked at my father and says, "George, you go crank up the car, and I'm going to pack her suitcase, and she's on the next train." Going into the locker room, and there my dress was. I put on my cleats. Then I went out and I started walking, and I heard that beautiful music, clickety-clack, off to the field. And I says, "Maybelle, you're a professional baseball player." And that was the most wonderful feeling I have ever had in my life.
All these girls gonna be in the league? You wish.
You do wish.
They're gonna have 4 teams, 16 girls to a team.
That's right.
64 girls.
You know, they got over 100 girls here, so, some of yous are gonna have to go home.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Come on, Doris.
Those people are jerks.
What do you mean, some of us?
Do it.
When A League of Their Own came out, it was absolutely wonderful. Before that, nobody ever realized that we ever played baseball. It helped open up Title IX. It gave women a chance to show that we do have abilities other than staying home and having babies. I was in the closet for 95 years, and it was time for me to come out and let the world know that I was gay. I could feel the blood rushing from my head clear down to my toes. And then I thought, "Oh, Maybelle, what did you do? What's your family going to say? Oh my God, are they going to disown you?" I said to myself, "Maybelle, here's your opportunity to tell people and little girls and little boys it's okay to be gay, to be yourself, to be able to live your life, and don't go through the struggles that I had." And the phone started ringing, and it was my family. And it just broke my heart, you know, that they said, "Aunt Maybelle, we realize, you know, you got to live your life, and we love you for what you are and not your sexuality." I want to inspire everybody. If everybody were themselves, there's no telling how high they could go.
Let's hear it for former All-American Girls Professional League player, Maybelle Blair. Where is Maybelle? Where is she? Where is she? I love this woman. Sister. Oh, we're getting ready to have a ball. Let's give it up, Maybelle, Blair. Oh my God.
We are the ones. We bring life to this world. We need no guns. We know we have a choice. We are strong. We women have a voice to sing this song.
All right.
I can sit.
I know. Oh, you know, we have to do our pose and all
I
that.
have to rock to get up, but I can sit.
That's all right. How you doing, sister?
Well, the old girl's hanging in there, and I'm happy because I'm on this side of the dirt.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so the last time we were all in person, I brought tiaras for everybody because, you know, Queen of the Castle. Now, who knew that we would need, you know, to wear those crowns to get us through the pandemic? But you weren't here with us then.
No.
So you don't have to wear it right now. You can wear it when you get home. But I bought you your own
God!
tiara, okay?
Would I look like Queen Elizabeth?
Okay. Now you're gonna look like Queen Maybelle. So we're gonna leave this back here, but this is yours to take away because you are truly the queen of the castle and you are in a league of your own, sister.
Oh. I want to tell you something. I have never been so nervous in my life than being out here with all these wonderful women that have made something of themselves. I was at the ESPYs, and that didn't bother me, and I was all over the place, but this is the first time I've ever been nervous. And thank you, girls, for being who you are and what you have accomplished. Thank you for carrying the flag.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so Maybelle, welcome to Makers, and thank you for blazing trails. We all get to do what we get to do because you did what you did. So no reason to be nervous. This is your crowd. We are here for you, and we are just going to hang out and have a conversation. How's that?
Hey, I couldn't feel better, but I got a bunch of daughters out there now.
Okay,
I'll
that's
tell
exactly right. That's exactly right. And you got a whole lot that you want to tell us. Okay, so do you realize at 95 years old what a style icon you are? I mean, like, tell us the story behind the glam. You know, I like glam. You could tell, pink boots and all that. Okay, what's up with the baseball bat cane? Talk to us about that. Tell us that story.
Donna Cohen got this for me. I needed a cane, and she got this for me. And I'm so thrilled because I got all very important people on here in the sports world. It's just strictly sports world. And
well, I guess
that,
I'm gonna have
would
to
you
sign
do me a
it.
favor?
Yes.
Would you sign my
Oh,
bat?
you know I will. Oh, you know I will.
Hang on.
Oh my gosh, how special is this? Oh, we got tiaras and baseball bat canes and stuff. This is too sweet.
I have Hall of Famers on there like Rod Carew, Bernie Williams, and they even have Sharon Robinson on there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just wrote, I love you.
Oh, God, that's wonderful.
Cynt.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
there
sure
you go.
appreciate that.
Oh, I love you.
You made my day.
Oh, you made my day. We're just having a little love fest over here. Okay, I'll give you that back. Okay, so talk to me about Blazing Trails. You did it in baseball and you did it at Northrop. So you didn't just do it kind of one time. How did the men receive you and how do you go about just knocking down obstacles? Give us some advice. How do we do it? How do you do it?
Oh, gosh, you got to be yourself, number one. Always be yourself and not try to be somebody else.
Yes.
And if you have a dream, follow it because you will accomplish it if you'll try. And that's what I tried to do, and I did it my best. I didn't do too well, but I accomplished things, but I have a bigger dream right now.
What's that?
And that dream is to have a league of their own again where the girls can have their own league so they don't have to compete with boys in Little League or anything else. I'm trying to build a home in Rockford, Illinois right now called the International Women's Baseball Center. That's where the Rockford Peaches played.
Okay.
And everybody knows the Rockford Peaches.
Yes,
So
yes.
we own the property, and what we're doing now is raising money to try to have a home of our own. We don't want to be in Cooperstown.
Right.
The display there in Cooperstown, if you people have ever been there, is wonderful. But we do not be in there. We do not need it. And so many people think, oh, the women should be there. No, we shouldn't be in there. We should have a home of our own.
That's it. Okay. Are y'all up for that?
And that's what it's all about. We need a home of our own for women's baseball.
Oh, I
and
love
that's
that.
what I'm working for. So if any of you know any rich people or anybody that's got
We know rich people.
our $10 or $5 or $500,000,
We know rich people.
our
We know rich
sponsor, what I need now is about $1 million.
Okay, we got that. Okay,
Come
$1
on,
million.
girls. Build our home for me. And
Okay.
like Oral Horsheiser, I was in the Dodger booth, you know, with them up there. I had more fun with him. And he started raising money for me. And he says, don't just put a 5 or said when you press that button, add 2 or 3 zeros behind it.
Oh, that's exactly
You know, he
right.
was
That's
pretty
exactly
smart.
right. Okay, well, this is the right crowd. Okay, and people are watching, and we know people.
Yeah, we
And
got
we know people who
gotta
know
have
people.
it.
So
don't
we got it. We got it. Okay, so are you all in and helping Maybelle with her dream? Okay. Because that dream is going to mean a lot
Yes.
to girls, to women, period. Okay, so let's talk about women's sports. A lot has changed since 1954 when the American Girls Professional Baseball League folded due to, and we saw it earlier, lack of promotion, funding, etc. Where are we today relative to women's sports? Give us your insight on that.
We need a lot more people. We need to put our athletic ability out there to our best. But we can't take tokens in there because that tears you down.
Right.
You got to be able to perform to get the audience. We need the audience. And this is where we are today. We're doing great in soccer right now, and I really love it. And our basketball is doing wonderful.
Yes.
And I just love that Candace Parker.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Isn't she something
We can
else?
give it up for Candace.
Oh, yeah. She's
awesome.
my ball player.
Yes.
And this is where we got to come. We got to stick in there and get this thing done and support our girl athletes. They're out there giving their best. They love the game. If it's in your blood, you just can't believe what these girls go through. And support us. And we've got to get a league of our own going again. So our girls don't have to be pushed into softball from, scholarships. All the good old boys in the old days, they didn't want us to do anything, but put on our aprons and have babies and stay in the kitchen. Well, I can't cook a lick, so I wouldn't help much. But
I can cook, but I tell them I cook for the holidays.
oh, help! Yeah, well,
Because
you got help.
I got to change the world in the meantime.
Oh my gosh! Can you believe this woman?
I love you, Maybelle. Okay, so listen. So I read, and you probably know who said this, but I don't want to call him out, that someone once said women were always looked at like intruders into a supposedly man's sport, that we were intruders, that we shouldn't be in these sports that men are in. Do you think that mindset still exists today to some degree?
It does, but hey, we're breaking that barrier, and that's what we're doing for the future. That's what you young kids, your kids to me, that's what you got to do is break that and go forward, and don't go backwards. Teach your daughters, hey, we're as equal as a man, but don't give us a job that a man can do better. If we're as equal as a man, let us have that job. And if we're better, let's go above them.
Above them, I like that.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go above them and get our pay. But if we're not as good as men, we don't want to take advantage of a man. We want to be even with men as far as pay and job opportunities because we like to do things too. I know I did even at my age. I still like to go forward. And it's up to you to keep that future moving on, and we can do it.
Right, it's
Look
about
at
making
her.
the future.
And I know a lot of you out there are the same boot as she is, almost.
I love you. Okay, so let's talk about role models. Because, truly, we're looking at you as a role model, as a trailblazer. Who were your female role models? Did you have any?
Well, let me tell you something. I got to thinking about that. I didn't have any role models because the only thing we had was school teachers,
Yes.
secretaries, and nurses. If you had to go in those 3 opportunities, or you're just home with the apron and having babies.
Right.
But now the door has been wide open, and we got to take advantage of that door being open. But if I had a role model back then, I would say it would have been my mother, because there was nobody else. My mother was wonderful.
Tell us about your mother.
Well, my mother, we came from Texas, or I didn't, they did. She was a cotton picker. She picked cotton all of her life. And she always encouraged me, Maybelle, you have to do better, but you can do it here. All you have to do is put a little effort behind it.
Yes.
She didn't have any education. I think she went as high as probably the 6th grade. And, but she wanted more for Maybelle. And I tried to do everything my mother wanted me to do. I did as well as I could. Anyway, here I am, 95, and I'm still on this side of the dirt, so I'm very happy.
We are happy too. We are happy too. Okay, so at 95, clearly you are not done. Okay, so talk about really what you're doing, what we can all do to really push this agenda for women, for girls in sports. And just overall in general.
Well, the main thing is we got to help each other. If you see a spot open for another woman that you think she can handle, be sure you do it and help as much as you can to each other, because we are here all together. We have to support each other. To me, is the support of each other to be able to go to the future. So many of you do have the opportunity to push other women. Be sure you do it. Be sure you help. And I was just noticing in your little bio,
Yes.
47% of the women are up there now in the Dallas Mavericks. Thank you for that.
Yes.
You're doing it.
It's up
You're
to 50
doing
now.
it.
We are still moving. Yes. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
we've got to get it up there.
Yes.
But if they can't do the job, don't let them.
Oh, no. They got to be able to.
They have to
You
qualify.
got to deliver the goods. You got to deliver the goods, and you have to bring the results.
Yeah, don't ask any woman to do anything she can't do, because that hurts us. But if they qualify, get them in there, because we need all the help we can. And we're going to build my league of their own again, too. That's my big push.
We are going to build it. Okay, so you're out there meeting with these young athletes all the time. What are you learning from the girls? What are they sharing with you? What's on their minds?
They're showing me there is a future.
Yes.
A big future for all women. They're trying to get their college degrees, and practically every athlete out there now has a college degree. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Because they're getting scholarships to go to college.
Yes, it's awesome.
And it's so wonderful, Title IX. I was very fortunate during Title IX. We had about 25 athletic directors, women at that time, and they asked me to be their speaker. Can you believe that? Anyway, I couldn't.
Yes. Tell us.
But anyway, I was.
What you talk about?
We talked about why is women not getting ahead. Why is because we were afraid. Those athletic directors could have lost their jobs, but they put it all on the line for the women to have scholarships to go to college, because at that time, they thought that if we invaded the men's territory, they wouldn't get money for their scholarships. Well, that's wrong. But you can see what happened in college today with the girls getting their education. I'm so thrilled.
Yes.
I have never been so thrilled. And I said, why are they asking me to be a speaker? Because I can't speak a lick, you know. But anyway, that's the way it was.
Oh, you're doing just fine, Maybelle.
You think so?
I think you ought to have a talk show.
Oh, you can clap louder than that, for
I think
God's
you ought to have
sake.
a talk show. You got plenty to say. I think you ought to have a talk show.
Huh?
We should have a talk show together.
We should. We should get together about all this.
Oh, yeah, just raise money for your dream.
Hey, can you help me out?
You know, yeah. Okay, so let me tell you what this moment is called, because you talked earlier about women helping each other. I called this the HASU moment, H-A-S-U. Y'all remember that? Hook a sister up, okay? We have to learn how to practice the Hasu moment, and you just did that. So I got you, sister. Okay, this is
So
our
you
last
got me covered.
I got you covered.
Had a girl.
I got you, girl.
I need
I
some
got you.
covering up.
Okay, so look, here's the last thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about authenticity because they said this is the last question. They don't want us to start our talk show today on their. Okay, so we have
Isn't she
to.
pitiful?
Okay, so we just have to do our talk show later. But here's the last question. It's been a few weeks since you came out. Okay, how does it feel living your authentic self? And then tell us about the family support and your phone ringing off the hook and what that meant to you.
Well, it means a great deal to me. I was worked at Northrop for years, and I had to be very, very careful. If they found out that I was gay, I would have been fired immediately. And so I had to cover up so much because if I was top secret at Northrop Aircraft. I was head of highway transportation at Northrop, and I had to move the aircraft and be in on all of the secret movements of the aircraft to be able to move it from Hawthorne to clear to Palmdale Aircraft by road. And I was scared every day of my life that somebody would find out that I was gay, that I would have been dismissed immediately. I had to go out on dates with men. I was in my high heels, all dressed up and lovely, and you know what they want to do after you go out on a date. Mm-hmm. Well, always had an excuse. But anyway, I had a problem. I had generals and colonels, and you mentioned it, that they had the place all picked out.
Yes.
So I had to be very, very careful that nobody learned that I was gay. But anyway, I was so thrilled during the filming in New York at Tribeca at the Film Festival with the new TV series, the Amazon League of Their Own. I'm one of the, what do you call it, the coordinators?
Yes.
That told them what to do, you know, like if I knew.
Boss lady.
Yeah, thank you. And all of a sudden, I was sitting next to Abby and Will, who were both gay, and I said, Maybelle, this closet's getting rustier by the minute. So I sort of pushed my foot out just a little bit, and I saw a crack. And I thought, oh, my God. Now's the hour because I'm not getting any younger. And if I could help one kid, boy or girl, not to worry, then I had to worry all my life about being gay with their family or work-wise or just be accepted in the world. It will be worth it. So I sort of kicked it then, and then all of a sudden, all that came out of my mouth was, hey, I want everybody to realize that after 95 years, I'm coming out and telling you I'm gay so I can help other little kids realize that there is a future for them, that everybody doesn't hate them, and the families will understand that, hey, I was born this way. That's all I've ever known, and I can't help it. But you know what? It was such a pleasure. I just came back from the Chicago Cubs. Laura Rickards, who is also gay, the owner of the Chicago Cubs, she invited us there, and it was remarkable. And I said to myself, how wonderful. And I went back after we had all our ceremonies and went up to her private box and all this. That was a great box. You should see that one. I'm sure the Mavericks is it too, but this one is huge. You'd love it. My little eyeballs got as big as my glasses. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, I went across the street, and while I was at the hotel, this little guy comes running up to me, and he says, Miss Blair, Miss Blair. I says, oh, what? What is it? He says, I want to thank you because I heard about you coming out gay. And it has helped me so much with my family. My father And Mother, now understand where I'm coming from. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And tears started rolling down his face. So I said, Maybelle, it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. Thank you, Maybelle. Maybelle, Blair, you are in a league of your own. Thank you. Let's give it up for Maybelle Blair, who is still making the future.
Hey girl, you can rule the world. She
Awesome.
said, hey girl, you can rule the world. My mama said, hey
I love
girl,
you.
you can rule
Thanks,
the
everybody.
world. She said,
You are
hey
amazing.
girl,
You're amazing.
you can rule the
Okay, we're
world.
going to get that cane.
Hey girl, you can rule the world.